First off, sorry if these dandelions are distracting, but I love them. Anyways, let's get to my subject. I'm going to be talking about definitions applicable to marriage and family therapy. It's chapter 64b4-21. It's broken up into two groups, 64b4-21.007, which is the definition of a licensed marriage and family therapist with at least 5 years experience or the equivalent, who is a qualified supervisor, and then 64b4-21.009, and that deals with the treatment by a marriage and family therapist. I'm a little sick, sorry. So the first section, the definition of a licensed marriage and family therapist with at least 5 years experience or the equivalent who's a qualified supervisor, is again broken up into a few parts. Part 1, it says a licensed marriage and family therapist who is a qualified supervisor, as used in section 491.005, is defined as an individual who, during the period for which the applicant claims supervision, meets one of the following: A, holds an active license as a marriage and family therapist in the state of Florida. B, is licensed or certified as a marriage and family therapist in another state, or resides in a state in which licensure for marriage and family therapy is not required and can document a minimum of 6 semester or 8 quarter hours of graduate coursework in marriage and family systemic theories and techniques, and 5 years of clinical experience as a marriage and family therapist. Or C, is designated and approved supervisor by the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. Or D, is licensed as a clinical social worker or mental health counselor in Florida or in the state in which the supervision took place, and can document a minimum of 6 semester or 8 quarter hours of graduate coursework in marriage and family systemic theories and techniques, and 5 years of clinical experience in marriage and family therapy, 2 years of which can be earned during a postmaster's clinical internship. Ooh, my brain. Okay. Condition 2. This rule applies to all supervisors providing clinical supervision to interns and trainees. 3. A qualified supervisor who provides supervision in Florida for interns and trainees must meet equivalency standards of paragraph 1, section A, B, C, or D, and also have A, completed 5 years of clinical experience, 2 years of which can be earned during a postmaster's clinical internship, with the remaining 3 years of experience earned post-licensure, and B, completed subsequent to licensure as a marriage and family therapist training in supervision in one of the following: 1. A graduate level academic course in supervision which meets the requirements of Rule 64b4-6.0025, or 2. A continuing education course in supervisory training which meets the requirements of Rule 64b4-6.0025, same rule. Or 3. Is designated and approved supervisor by the AAMFT, which is the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. Wow. That's a lot of definition. But, so anyways, there's another section, 64b4-21.009. It's treatment by a marriage and family therapist. So, marriage and family therapy treatment as contained in section 491.003, which is over here somewhere. It's just a list of definitions. It's like 17 of them. I'll give you some examples. It gets pretty long, but it just goes over everything. It defines board as it's pertained to these definitions. Board means the Board of Clinical Social Work, Marriage and Family Therapy, and Mental Health Counseling. Defines clinical social worker, which means a person licensed under this chapter to practice clinical social work. Department means the Department of Health. Mental health counselor means a person licensed under the chapter to practice mental health counseling. So many definitions. Psychotherapist means a clinical social worker, marriage and family therapist, or mental health counselor licensed pursuant to this chapter. Yeah, so tons of definitions. Um, so, where was I? So yeah, marriage and family therapy treatment as contained in that section 491.003 is distinguished by the use of methods of a psychological nature to evaluate, assess, diagnose, treat, and prevent emotional and mental disorders and dysfunctions, whether cognitive, affective, or behavioral, sexual dysfunction, behavioral disorders, alcoholism, and substance abuse. So pretty much what this section was about was the defining of a marriage and family therapist. Um, the definitions were super involved. They meant to make it very clear on what exactly you had to be, what you had to be a marriage and family therapist. Um, and this is all just to protect the individual, I think. Um, all these chapters, all that we've been discussing, the documentation, the display of licenses and qualifications, it's all there to make sure that people who claim they're qualified are qualified, and that, you know, if you're a professional and you know what you're doing. And without that, there'd be no consistency in this profession, and, you know, there'd be no trust, and that's what it's all about. It's about trust, the consumer's trust or the client's trust or just a person's trust in you as their therapist. And so that's why that's here. That's why these chapters are here, and, you know, that's why we're learning about it. But I do think there's another side to it, even though there are all these legalities about what it means to be a family therapist, what it means to be a mental health counselor, um, you know, and that's a necessity for sure. There is like this human aspect where, you know, we're just people trying to help other people, and that's the art aspect of it, the beauty of it. So I found this video just browsing on YouTube. I don't know how I just typed in marriage and family therapy, and I think it illustrated very well like the duality of this whole scenario, the legal side and then just this human side. And I hope you enjoy it because I did. And yeah, all right. Alright guys, have a nice day. I'll see you later. I hope you learned something. Okay. Alright, bye.